Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a the question that when she asked about vegan cheese, she wants people to talk to her. It's nothing to do with anything. It's just she's lonely and has no fucking friends, and she's desperate for people to interact with her. So she asks people on Twitter, "What about cheese?" Go fucking Google it. You won't have to. It won't matter. But she didn't want to Google it. She wanted attention on the fucking internet because she's a weirdo. All it is. It's validation. It's just validation. It's all it comes down to.
At the beginning
Cloud
of the video.
attention.
This is the claim she's been ordered at substantiating in her video.
What I found is that a majority of white vegans are using white supremacist tactics and talking points, but superimposing veganism over it all.
Alright, so first of all,
that a majority of white vegans are using white supremacist tactics.
Well, fucking Google it. You won't have to. It won't matter. But she didn't want to Google it. She wanted attention on the fucking internet because she's a weirdo. All it is. It's validation. It's just validation bait. It's all it comes down to.
Being
at
there
the
for
beginning of the video. Remember, this is the claim she has been ordered at substantiating in her video.
And what I found is that a majority of white vegans are using white supremacist tactics and talking points, but superimposing veganism over it all.
Alright, so first of all, I highly doubt the, quote, white vegans she conversed with alone even constitute the majority of white vegans, let alone the amount that supposedly were using white supremacist tactics and talking points, but superimposing veganism over it all, which, by the way, that's another thing she has not demonstrated thus far. But let's keep watching, because maybe at the end of the video, we'll see that she has demonstrated these things.
This is the truth that started it all. I literally asked about non-dairy cheeses that melt.
Not necessarily, as shown earlier.
That's right. That vegan teacher was right, brother. You're right.
Let's continue.
Now, some vegans gave me suggestions, but they were black and brown people who do so with kindness. So they're not what we're talking about today. No, white vegans inserted themselves to berate me over not being vegan in the first place, even though this was clearly an opportunity.
She provides no evidence for this claim, but either way, it took me 3 seconds to find evidence of the contrary. Amazing.
One of the methodologies that I find that white vegans use is that they pick the perfect victim. Much in the same way that white evangelical Christians use the unborn, white vegans use animals as a proxy so that they can be oppressed. Neither one of those groups are fighting for the actual oppressed. What they aim to do is position themselves as a proxy in absence of actually being an oppressed people. And it's particularly easy because, like with the unborn, animals can't speak for themselves. So it's perfect for them. And it is from the vantage point of that appropriated oppression that they get to decide which other life matters.
So we have some mind-reading abilities from Imani. Always gotta love when people pull out these kinds of claims. She's just claiming that white vegans intentionally use animals as a proxy
Unfounded,
so that they
groundless
themselves can
claims.
be oppressed, and that this group of vegans are not fighting for the actual.
I mean, I think she's probably just projecting, honestly. She's
miserable.
This is the problem, man. It's her entire. It seems like her entire.
She's not happy, bro. That's why she's vituperating white vegans. Excoriating.
Her identity is being oppressed.
Castigating.
You know? Like, there's people that can identify with different forms of oppression, but then there are people who identify as their oppression, right? Those are two very different things. Just because you have some level of oppression attached to you doesn't mean that you have to constantly bitch and want to cry about it and like make everything about that. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that.
Wokies obsessed.
Of course, no evidence was provided for this mass psychological assessment of the motivations of white vegans. Perhaps instead, you should ask these white vegans what their motivations are. For example, I live with a white vegan, and I asked him, watch this really exciting video, what his motivations were for being vegan and even doing activism in the past. And he said, to help oppress animals. Wow. See how that works? Asking.
Yeah, if I would assume that they're like, I felt bad for those chickens. I saw like a TikTok video the other day, and it was like one lone chicken that had hatched amongst like a field of not a field, but like a bunch of like stacked pallets of eggs on its way to a farm. I'm like, damn. I watched some shit about fucking little baby chickens or chickens. They go to they grow up in a warehouse, and then they just get put into a factory, and they get their legs put upside down, and it's so fucked up, bro. I get why people are vegan. You know, if they make lamb meat, I'll eat it. I'll stop eating actual dogs. I mean, I'll stop eating chickens. But dude, because this shit is horrific, bro. Like, I get it. I understand why people are vegan. The burgers taste too fucking good, you know? So
I feel what he's saying, but taste, like I said before, taste. It's not an excuse.
That's a big deal to
But I do understand what he's
questions
saying.
concerning a person's motivations for doing certain things and, their psychology,
Taste
as
is not a
opposed to
strong...
baselessly mass psychoanalyzing an entire demographic of people. And of course, based on some tweet interactions you have that presumably don't constitute the entirety of the demographic, she goes on to say that animals are the perfect victim for this imaginary goal of feeling oppressed for white vegans because they can't speak. Here is a much more likely thing based on many conversations I've had with white vegan activists. Maybe this not being able to speak for animals.
All she'll say to this guy, if she ever saw this, is like, oh, his whiteness is getting in the way of him actually listening to what I'm saying. It's the only thing that she'll say. She'll just dismiss whatever thing that he has to say. So.
Animal beef burgers do taste good, bro. Certain beef burgers, bro. I used to love beef burgers, bro. Before I became a vegan, I used to eat bacon burgers from Portillo's, from Wendy's. I used to love beef burgers, bro. But taste is not a good reason to eat animals, bro. It's not. You know what I mean? People can eat animals if they want to. Like I said before, I don't force people to become vegan. I never forced anybody to become vegan. I informed, then I allowed the people that I informed to make their own decisions. Certain people in college, they told me that I inspired them positively. I inspired them to become vegans. I inspired them to become vegans. That's yeah, bro.
Graphic of people. And of course, based on some tweet interactions you have that presumably don't constitute the entirety of the demographic, she goes on to say that animals are the perfect victim for this imaginary goal of feeling oppressed for white vegans.
I informed and I allow
Here is a much more likely thing based on many conversations I've had with white vegan activists. Maybe this not being able to speak for animals.
All she'll say to this guy, if she ever saw this, is like, oh, his whiteness is getting in the way of him actually listening to what I'm saying. It's the only thing that she'll say. She'll just dismiss whatever thing that he has to say. So.
Is one of the reasons that white vegans view animals as extremely vulnerable, and therefore they decided to speak up for them because
people can consume animals if they consume animals if they want to.
But oh yeah, I'm not gonna eat the cow, but I'm gonna eat that shark. Yeah, eat that stingray.
That I don't think that animals are meant for human consumption. I don't think that animals are here for humans to eat, to consume. We don't need animals for survival now. We don't. If an animal was the only thing left, then I will be saying a different thing. But there's a plenitude of plant alternatives. You don't need animals for survival. You don't need to eat dead flesh. You don't need to eat cadavers for sustenance. It's not a necessity.
Because they can't speak. Here is a much more likely thing based on many conversations I've had with white vegan activists. Maybe this not being able to speak for animals.
All she'll say to this guy, if she ever saw this, is like, oh, his whiteness is getting in the way of him actually listening to what I'm saying. It's the only thing that she'll say. She'll just dismiss whatever thing that he has to say. So.
It's one of the reasons that white vegans view animals as extremely vulnerable, and therefore they decided to speak up for them because it is the right thing to do.
I think that we should eat like dangerous animals. That's a good step. Like, oh yeah, I'm not going to eat the cow, it's defenseless, but I'm going to eat that shark. I'm going to eat that stingray. All right? Free my dude. Steve Irwin. That's what I'm saying.
They're trying to feel oppressed. She defines this notion of non-oppressed people, like white people, trying to feel oppressed by fighting against the oppression.
White people can be oppressed. It's just not going to typically be for their whiteness, right? It's going to be for like some other issue, like maybe they have a disability or something like that.
of an oppressed group has appropriated oppression. Again, she is just basically mass psychoanalyzing a demographic of people to be
people from
operating
any
under what she
race can
calls
be oppressed.
appropriated
That's
oppression.
what I
Why
think.
not ask these white vegans what their motivations are for doing
Oppression
vegan
is not
activism,
limited
as
to
opposed
black.
to
It's not
assuming
limited
that. In her
to
view,
certain
is it even
races.
possible for a non-oppressed person, such as a white person, to
I mean, not for nothing, but I would imagine that if anything, white vegans are probably super obnoxiously like SJWs.
A lot of
Like,
them,
I
a lot
would imagine
are
that people who are white
SJWs,
vegans are
wokies,
probably closer in line with
white
people
saviors,
than other
white
people for all the problems
guilt,
of the world rather than having
having
constructive conversations. So if anything, these white vegans are probably not being racist at all. They're
facts,
probably
facts.
like, oh my god,
They're
anything a
simply
black person says,
a lot,
I will agree
a
with.
plenitude
So
simp
what she's saying
for
doesn't even
blacks,
make sense.
for minorities.
for animals without
So
participating in so-called appropriate
Imani is
oppression?
tripping,
What about
bro.
the possibility
She's
of a
making
white
it seem
person
like
recognizing they are not oppressed and wanting to use this privileged position to
white
help
vegans
fight
are
for the
bigoted.
oppressed? Why not seek to confirm
Nah,
that this
bro.
is happening rather than baselessly make a giant psychological assessment
A
of an
lot
entire
of
group
white
of people?
vegans are white
Responsible
saviors,
disregard
bro.
for human atrocities and the comparison of marginalized people to animals. This is why we have Francesca here comparing animal agriculture to human slavery and denying women the right to vote.
All right, guys. Francesca is not comparing animal agriculture to human slavery in this
Facts.
tweet. She's shown that if a person is going to
No, she is. That is exactly what she's saying. Non-vegans claim animal agriculture is fine because it's legal. While human slavery used to be illegal, denying women the right. We talked about this. Yes, she is quite literally comparing slavery of black people, mostly in America, to veganism or to animals. Yes, that doesn't mean that she's saying that black people are animals. She's
Facts.
just like, this is very normal in like a debate world. That's just using fundamental logic to convey a point. The only point that's conveyed here is that just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's right.
Imani acts like she's
not saying that she's
doesn't
saying something
know.
racist. She's not trying to insinuate that black people are animals. She's just trying to say that some things that are legal aren't necessarily good. Okay, you don't have to agree with her. But the fact that this
Imani
woman is
needs to
making
be
these
honest.
racist
She
statements
is
because she's
dishonest.
looking to dismiss what that person has to say without engaging in it intellectually.
She's a cornball.
to
Imani,
call animal
the black
agriculture ethical because it's legal,
influencer.
the same person will have to consider slavery and denying women the right to vote to have been good things when they're legal. It's like a
Francesca makes sense, bro.
Slavery or denying women the right to vote and thinks a comparison.
And then also, it's not necessarily about slavery would happen to more than just black people. So you
Facts.
make that argument as well.
It happened
is
to
being made. If you read the tweet carefully, this is
Latinos,
not what
Middle
is happening
Easterners,
at all. And just
Asians,
remember,
different
everybody, we
people.
are seeking a substantiation for the
Not
claim
just
that the
blacks.
majority of white veganism is leading people into the alt-right pipeline. We still have
That's
not
why
seen evidence of
Francesca
this.
said human slavery. She knows that it's not limited to blacks. To black.
The needs of disabled people and poor people.
Imani gotta stop being woke, bro.
Francesca doesn't seem to be disregarding the needs of poor people and disabled people in this tweet. She seems to be fencing over people.
It sounds like somebody said, "What about disabled people? They can't go vegan or something." And then she was like, "Well, disabled people can still go vegan." I don't know why
Facts.
you're trying to make it seem like disabled people can't do stuff.
Yeah,
Like that
Imani,
seems to be the point of it. Some
she-
people, if they have a dietary concern, like whatever, I get it.
She's on that
You know,
mendacious
again,
time.
I'm going from,
Imani
give me
is.
give me a special burger. Give me a yummy leg meat worker. You know.
Assuming that disabled people and poor people inherently cannot be vegan.
To them, human suffering is just a toy, a tool with which, from their own vantage point of assumed oppression, they get to decide who lives and who dies.
What is she even talking about here?
You have quite classic framing often used by pro-lifers too, such as the minimization of the Holocaust and calling animal agriculture the Holocaust, therefore comparing Jewish people to animals and livestock.
Alright, so she is literally debunking herself in her own screenshot. And I'm Jewish, so I guess the things I'm saying here have extra weight to some of these types of people. Listen closely. Francesca is not comparing what animals go through to the Holocaust of World War II. She's saying that, by definition, what animals go through is a Holocaust, not the Holocaust. It
That's
literally
what
says it right
Tash
there. She showed a
Peterson
debunk of her own
told
claim
Pierce
while making the claim.
on the
You
Pierce
believe
Morgan
this individual.
Uncensored show.
Jews weren't the only victims of the Holocaust. If you're going to claim that
Tash
only those involved
corrected
with the
Pierce
Holocaust
Morgan
return
on
or for other
the
events,
Pierce Morgan
then you have to
Uncensored
include all victims,
show.
not just Jewish people. The Holocaust is the correct term for them. Yeah, I mean, listen, we are
The Holocaust is not
effectively
limited to
holocausting
what
animals.
happened
I mean,
in World War
again,
II.
Okay, you know what I mean? Like it's sad, I guess. I don't know. Not super. I mean, I probably should be more empathetic to it, but I guess that makes me a bad guy.
Says it right there. She showed a debunk.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Not super. I mean, I probably should be more empathetic to it, but I guess that makes me a bad guy.
Says it right there. She showed a debunk of her own own claim while making the claim.
Similarly, you have this individual that I screenshotted before they had the opportunity to delete it, who said they wanted to wipe out the entire plot.
That can't be actually. That's probably not actually Polish. That's probably like a fake one. Because it says it's a horse cock enjoyer. What is it? Vouchb? BOUSHB. It's gotta not be him. It's gotta not be him. Who's that? I don't think it is actually him. No, the account is like banned, so actually, of course not.
Online of a Jewish person who was talking about keeping kosher.
Yeah, so the original tweet is deleted, so I can't find the original context for it. But even if we assume this is a completely anti-Semitic tweet coming from
well, it doesn't matter because this isn't gonna be a vegan. So she's saying it's white vegans. It's just some edgy asshole online. It's not vegan.
How is this, on top of the other bad examples listed throughout this video, evidence that the majority of white veganism is luring people into the alt-right pipeline?
I would argue the majority of white veganism is virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Veganism is like fine, but whatever. I don't know.
It's not.
All I'm saying is that I feel like if you're a vegan, you have a higher chance of being a fucking annoying virtue signaling asshole. I don't think that's unreasonable to say.
Fake virtue.
So you would like fucking gargle the
a lot of vegans, but not all. Certain vegans are logical. Shout out to Elizabeth Elias on Twitter. X. My bad, not Twitter. We follow each other. She's a vegan, but she's not woke. She's not a woke vegan. I salute her.
Team Super Chef's $5.
I don't know if she is a Republican, but she's not woke, which is fire.
Anti-vegan. This is one
Dope,
like this is
laudable.
response she's referring to. Anti-vegans
To be
like
venerated.
Worst Cock Lover 888 said that they hope all meat eaters burn in hell. So vegans are racist. See? That doesn't look like somebody's agreeing with them. I don't even know. This seems like they're criticizing them. Anti-vegans are like Horse Cock Lover said that they hope all meat eaters burn in hell, so vegans are racist. Wait, hold on. This person is a vegan just saying that Horse Cock Lover. This person is just criticizing other people. What are you talking about? This person isn't agreeing with them. They're saying what they're saying. Bro, I'm like my mind is blown because I don't even understand how to interpret this right now. She's saying that anti-vegans are pointing to like the 1 in 1,000 horse cock lover who's supposedly a vegan. And saying, look, that person is mean to us, so anti-vegans are racist. What are you talking about? What the fuck is happening here, dude? My brain is not even working. I'm having trouble interpreting this because this is just so fucking preposterous.
Oh, man.
Agreed with them.
Yeah, I done heard it all.
Remarks that were said.
This is not a person agreeing with them. This is somebody showing
Facts.
the absurdity of claiming vegans are racist
Facts.
because a single person said they hope that all meat eaters
Yeah.
for interpreting them.
Imani's a
fucking problem.
yeah. She's an
Right now.
idiot, bro.
This vegan saying that chattel slavery was merely a blip compared to animal exploitation.
So we have another instance of Imani debunking her own claim with a screenshot she willingly put in the video while making the claim. The tweet says, in terms of raw numbers at the end. Imani described the tweet as saying that chattel slavery was nearly a blip compared to animal exploitation, when she's literally showing the full context right there. And yeah, if we're going simply off of raw numbers, of course animal exploitation is worse. There are only around 8 billion humans who even exist, and we kill trillions of animals every year simply for consumption. This tweet is true.
Definitely
by the way,
Just to be clear, simply
Definitely
for consumption is not a real. I wouldn't use that term. Consumption is how we live. All right. It's also young.
each claims they are a person of color, but Imani's followers just think this is a lie.
And then this person mentioned.
Okay. FYI, you're talking to a POC, person of color. The question is still open. Okay.
And they are a person of color.
Anyone can claim to be POC behind a private account.
Yep.
I don't care. I'm a POC. I'm a piece of crap.
But Imani's followers just think this is a lie.
And then this person even tweeted at me a picture of dead black people, comparing them to meat.
Wow, it's terrible. Reading photos of what appears to be dead black people. Well, it's not surprising. Is it?
Because black people are always going to be livestock to vegans.
As weird as this post how does
that's
this
a
tweet
crazy
show that,
statement,
quote,
bro.
black people are always going to be livestock to
That's a
vegans?
crazy
let alone
statement.
white vegans.
Indubitably
Like, why is she even
crazy.
saying vegans here? Wasn't this video
She's
supposed to be
bugging.
about white veganism and white vegans?
And again, all of this is because I
All
asked
this could be avoided if you just fucking Google.
Yep.
vegan
Preventable.
cheese.
if vegan cheese melts.
No, it's not. We have more of what seems like dishonesty coming from Imani.
And another
Grifting.
disturbing aspect is how they weaponize
Manipulation.
this thing called speciesism, basically acting like it's reverse racism. Because again, they see themselves as a proxy for these animals. They're just utilizing their veganism as a mechanism to be racist.
She wants to be a perpetual victim.
And keep in mind,
That's
this is a
sad,
handful
bro.
of the
Undoubtedly.
thousands of comments like
Undoubtedly.
this that I got. They can't
She wants to be
possibly
mad
or
so.
even want
Yeah.
to convert people to veganism. That, in and of itself, is not their goal.
She wants to
With
be
these
mad at
numbers, They can't
everything.
even pretend to want to
She's
be effective.
miserable.
Veganism is just their placeholder for the moral superiority felt with Christianity. It's like when abusers in the church go into New Age spirituality. They get to pretend and adopt a moral superiority, while simultaneously benefiting from the exact same structures that they pretend that they're getting away from. Additionally, they're not recruiting new vegans, but making sure that the existing ones don't leave the albright pipeline that they're leading them along.
So we have more mass psychoanalysis here, which in the context of this video is simply based on a few tweets she has shown about the majority of white vegans. Do I even need to explain the lack of evidence supporting her mass psychoanalysis here? She said the majority of white vegans are not trying to create new vegans, they're making sure that the existing ones don't leave the alt-right pipeline. What is your evidence for this exactly? I don't understand this at all. On this side of the internet, we just
Unsubstantiated
allow to
BS.
make very
Hogwash,
rhetorically
bro.
nice sounding statements that include
Nonsense.
very bold.
Yeah, of course.
Crock
It
of
just doesn't
ish.
sound- Yeah, brother. It doesn't matter what the fuck you say. My dog died yesterday. If I fed him to the homeless with that,
Falseness,
you have to
bro.
make assumption and make vegans happy. I
Audacity,
think so. Yeah, you
untruth.
should feed him to the homeless. Just make sure he gets
No
consent.
proof to
Provide-
substantiate.
Claims
But
without
yeah,
citing sufficient evidence to support them.
it's crazy, man.
Many of these same vegan accounts were following and retweeting right-wing and alt-right accounts, liking and reposting racist, transphobic, homophobic, anti-Semitic.
What you think is
all-racism
racist,
type of things.
transphobic,
Let's assume all of
homophobic.
this is true, even though she didn't cite any evidence. Again,
Just
how would
because you
this,
think
on top of
that
all
doesn't
the other
mean
stuff
it
she said in
is.
this
That's
video,
what people
seems
gotta
like
know. She thinks her audience is dumb.
Her original claim about the majority of white veganism leading or luring people to the alt-right pipeline.
If these are your brand ambassadors for white veganism,
Speech you hate does not equate to hate
In
speech.
fact, there was a major
Remember
part
that,
of the
bro.
discussion that was had
Speech
yesterday.
you hate
Quite a few
does
black and
not
brown people
equate
who are
to
technically
hate
vegans
speech.
do not want to identify
Remember
as
that.
such. It's not being lumped in with that. Because why would you want to sidle up to a racist?
You know, I feel like most people who are vegan, maybe they just don't want to say it because it's not that big of a fucking deal. They
Yeah.
don't feel the need to go on the internet
Yeah.
and grocery shit if they're vegan. Maybe they just make that choice and they're not like fucking masturbating themselves off to make sure that you know that they're a good person.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Over chicken nuggets.
I love how she just says this. as
Shout
though
out
she
to
just showed
Papa
this
Gut
out to be true.
for
At this point,
being-
I think that she just doesn't
being
understand
logical
how bold
right
the
there,
claim she
bro.
made at the beginning of the video really is. Given what we've covered so far, I think it is clear that we cannot look at Imani as somebody to accurately determine whether a tweet should be labeled as racist, anti-Semitic.
It's crazy that
transphobic,
people
etc.
listen to
I mean,
this
even
cornball
here,
Imani,
the
bro.
vegan said meat is bad
People
for the
can listen to who they
environment,
want,
causes heart
but
disease, which Imani quote tweeted and called fat-phobic.
don't idolize, don't worship people like Imani, bro.
Don't forget
Bruh.
getting heart disease
Bruh.
and destroying the environment, which is true. Like, that's what happens. Eating too much animals will give you heart disease, and they fart a lot and they destroy the environment. A lot of infrastructure can be
Carcinogenic animal, dead
Environment
flesh
and causes heart disease,
can
which
lead
Imani
to
quote
heart
tweeted
disease
and called fat
and
phobic.
other
It's
ailments.
awesome. It's so
Maladies.
funny when my the two groups I like the least are fighting: vegans and fat people.
Not all vegans
I'm
are
fat.
bad.
Vegans
Not all
and
fat
fucking
people
fat
are bad.
activists. I don't like either of them.
There's a lot of
I'm fat,
wokies
too. I
in both
think that fat
groups.
people are cool.
Yeah.
You shouldn't bully them. But
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. Some people are so annoying.
There was
Yeah.
no context missing here.
Vexatious,
The person
pesky,
simply stated
difficult.
that meat causes heart disease and
Hard
Imani
to
took
deal
this
with.
as fat phobic. And let's not forget this example too.
Yeah, I
She
hate
called
that word,
this
fatphobic,
tweet
too, bruh.
appropriated oppression.
That's a
Apparently
woke
recognizing
term,
an
super
injustice
woke.
and asking people to not participate in it is appropriated oppression. As I asked
Wokies
earlier,
describe
is it even possible in
anybody
Imani's view
that
for a white person
disagrees
to be a vegan activist without participating in appropriated oppression? And I want to read something from
That's
somebody
fatphobic.
who made a
That's
response
crazy.
to Imani but wants to remain anonymous. I think it was a great response. It really sums up the absurdity of Imani's epistemic standards. Quote, also, For all the pearl clutching she does about people carelessly
ICOni, that should be her
comparing
new
devastating
name.
human atrocities
Cause
to
she's,
issues
cause
that
she,
deems
cause
as
she
more or
tricks
less
people. She
significant. It's interesting she would
deceives.
go on to
She
retweet a
manipulates.
post
She
likening
tricks.
vegans to Nazis and also claim that the
She
vegan
pushes
symbol is effectively a hate
false
symbol, all
narratives.
based on her interaction with Twitter
ICOni,
vegans whose tweets we've already established
ICONI.
she's far too willing to liberally attach an ism or phobic label to. If mass breeding, confining, torturing, and slaughtering 100 billion individuals a year, all while destroying the environment and poisoning or murdering surrounding communities, isn't enough to qualify the issue
I
as
don't
being
agree with
comparable
what
to the
Papa said about the
Holocaust, then
animals.
why
He
the
doesn't.
fuck does a bunch of vegans spamming your mentions with rude and admittedly in some cases genuinely disgusting
He doesn't
shit
think
qualify for these types of comparisons? Personally, this standard seems
animals are of equal importance.
We didn't get to respond to her
Are equally
notes post that she
equally
made that
important.
obviously sparked most of this. But if this is something you would like to
humans.
see,
I
let
don't
me know
agree
below.
with that,
It's
but
clear
at
that a
least
lot of
he's
things
being
that Imani
honest, bro.
says can
At
maybe,
least
I'm not even
I
sure,
salute the honesty.
sound rhetorically
I
good. But when
venerate
you
the
go as
honesty.
far as to, assess the
I
substance
think
of her claims,
animals
and
are
she's
equally
actually
important, bro.
properly substantiating them,
They're
you will
different,
find
but they're
little
equally
to nothing.
important.
Alright guys, well, thank you so much for
Different-
watching. If you support my
different,
work and want to
but
get early
equally
access to it, you can click the link in the
important.
comment and support me on Patreon.
Facts.
Cool. Look at that. Yeah, interesting video. This woman is crazy. Oh, I don't even know if they're a woman anymore.
Imani's
Maybe
goofy,
they're fucking non-binary.
wicked,
Whatever. Interesting video.
bigoted, racist. Call a spade a spade. I call a spade a spade. I keep it a buck. You don't. There's racists in all races, including the black race. There's racists in all races, including the black race. Imani is a racist, bro. She's corny, bro. White vegans are not the majority of white veganism is not luring people to the alt-right pipeline. That's a lie. That's cap. A lot of white vegans are white saviors, like Papa Gus said, bro. So yeah, she's bugging. Imani's bugging, bro. People like her should not. You gotta stop idolizing people like Imani because